The metaverse is going to be big. Are you ready? It's Morningstar News. So yes, it's 2022, y'all, and Morningstar News is back. Thought we'd kick things off with a look at the metaverse. Big buzzword last year, right? Starting around the beginning of the year, probably around February or so. And then, of course, Facebook started pushing this whole metaverse keyword. But then, yeah, Facebook changed their name to Meta, and they're going all in on the metaverse. So let's start there with Facebook. So Facebook is right now the big player in the virtual reality space. They've got the Oculus Quest 2, which released back in October of 2020, and that was kind of a surprise. But then we're going to talk about recent events. Around Christmas, the Oculus app was the most downloaded app in the Apple App Store. So that's giving you an indication, I guess a little bit by proxy, that the Oculus Quest is really popular. Over last year, we felt the popularity growing, but once Facebook slash Meta updated their company name, and basically they told the whole world the metaverse is the future, and they're going all in on it. And they also already had Facebook Reality Labs, now Reality Labs, but they're going all in. And the Christmas sales and the Apple App Store, even though it's not telling you one-to-one, there's a lot of these devices out there, and Meta isn't done pushing these devices. They've got the new, I don't know what they're going to end up calling it, but Project Cambria, the new headset that's supposed to come out this year now. I'm still thinking it's 2021. But yeah, and they've got the workrooms, they've got Horizon. They've got a lot of stuff going on for them. And they're selling the Quest 2 at a loss. And not many people can compete with that. It's just a fact of the matter. But we are personally really excited with what Facebook is doing. They're working on gloves, they're working on augmented reality, they're working on all these different technologies. And while the technologies aren't necessarily new technologies that they're working on, they've got the backing, and they've got, again, selling the Quest 2 at a loss. They've got the power and the money and the marketing behind it to really sell this thing, to really sell virtual reality to the public. Now, part of the issue with Facebook is they're Facebook, and a lot of people just hear that name and kind of groan, or do a little bit more than groaning. They completely check out because privacy, and Facebook hasn't had the best history. Even rebranding to Meta, people are like, okay, so you're trying to distance yourselves from Facebook. We are not really in that camp. Obviously, that's part of it, but what we're really seeing here is the pivot, Facebook to Meta, really promoting this metaverse. And we're really excited to see what they're going to do. So, right, Facebook, Meta, they're out there, but obviously they're not the only players. Now, we're not going to go through all the players that are out there. Like, there's Lynx, there's Chinese companies, there's a lot of different high-end and lower-end devices out there. But we're focusing on these big companies with this here. Link in the description, because that's how we do. We're looking at a CNBC article in particular. But there's a lot about this going out there. Virtual reality is really blowing up. But let's next get on to Google. So yes, the Google Glass still does exist. originally debuted back in 2013, I believe it was. But Google was too early, basically. And the camera on the face all the time was just not gonna fly way back then. I say that like that was a long time ago, but I mean, 9 years was a long time. So yeah, but the Google Glass today is mostly being used in workplace, manufacturing, and things like that. But the rumors around are that Google is working on an AR device. So we're keeping our eye on Google for this year. Their search engine and their shopping, they have some augmented reality elements put into that. So if you're using your phone or something like that, you can try on makeup, or you can put a picture of Grogu or a dinosaur in your room after you search for it. Yeah, Google kind of stepped back from it after the glass. But this is the future, and Google's not just going to sit around and watch the future happen without them. So keep an eye on Google. They've got some new AR device is rumored to be coming out this year. Now, one thing we were really excited about was Apple's AR headset, and it's 2022, and here we are. So we said AR headset, but this is supposed to be a mixed reality device. So we're getting virtual reality and supposedly pass through augmented reality. Now, the thing with Apple is they haven't said anything about this, right? So the Apple thing is all speculation. But Ming-Chi Kuo, a supply side analyst who's pretty good with this, with what Apple is doing. There have been rumblings for years, obviously, but it's really starting to pick up that 2022 is the year that we're getting this Apple mixed reality headset, and we're really looking forward to that. We won't go through all the rumors or anything like that. We're just gonna, briefly mention this, but maybe WWDC we start seeing something for developers, and then maybe later this year we see the headset released. But look for a surprise from Apple this year entering the virtual reality, augmented reality space. And honestly, VR, like we said, is getting big now, but once Apple hops in there, I think it's really going to take off. Now, we don't expect Apple to compete with the Oculus Quest. We expect a more premium experience, premium devices. So yeah, just keep an eye out on Apple. 2022 is supposed to be the year we see something good from them. All right, and the last company we're going to talk about is Microsoft. They've got the HoloLens, obviously, and they've also got the contract last year with the military for the custom HoloLens 2. Now, the latest we heard on that, the government has kind of put a pause on the development there, and there might be some issues. But Microsoft isn't out of the game. They're still doing stuff. And again, the HoloLens is out there, mixed reality toolkit. Last year they released, what was it called? Mesh. But basically, I don't like the word holograms because that's a misnomer. But they've got some stuff on the software side that we're more interested in, because we do our development in C# and we use Unity and we use Visual Studio for our coding and Visual Studio Code. So Microsoft, we feel like they're good on the on the software side, and they also have Azure and the spatial anchors in the cloud and things like that, and we see them maybe doing more of that, focusing on that and not necessarily the hardware. HoloLens is pretty old at this point, and a couple years old, and it's still expensive, so it's hard to really get your hands on, even as a developer. You can finance it, but what is it? $3,000 is a big investment. But again, I feel pretty good about Microsoft, what they're bringing to the table as far as the software goes. So yeah, we're calling these the big players in the space, but that's not necessarily true. Like we said, Vive, Valve, the Chinese companies, the Lynx from France. There's a lot out there, and we're not even talking about the really high quality headsets that are out there, or the one that you lay down that's supposed to offer a sort of a full dive experience. So there's a lot out there. We're focusing on these four companies, Apple, Meta, Google, and Microsoft, because they sort of set a standard, right? For mass adoption. It's unfortunately that that's the way things are. It's hard for little companies to get into this. But I feel like, especially with Facebook, Meta, we're gonna get that mixed up for a while now, I bet. But especially with them pushing so much behind the Metaverse and their headsets. I mean, the Oculus Quest continually keeps getting updates. So, we've had the hardware for over a year and a few months now, right? But they keep on pushing it on the software side, which is just great. But then we've got all these other technologies coming too, better hand tracking, and Facebook has abandoned their neural interfaces, brain-computer interfaces, but that sort of thing too. Haptic vests, gloves, and things like that. So there's more on the hardware side, more on the software side, and maybe even cloud will become a thing more. So you don't have to have a PC, and even the headsets don't have to be. Well, we assume they're going to be getting more powerful, obviously, and better displays, and all that stuff. But the cloud might be able to push a more multiplayer experience, which is part of a limitation. I think like the Facebook workrooms, you can only have like 16 people in there. But what we want to see is 100, 200, 500, 1,000 people in this. I mean, it's the Metaverse, right? I want to go to a concert with thousands of people around me, watching some virtual performer on the stage. So yeah, we're just really excited about the Metaverse for this year. And we say we're excited about the Metaverse, but really it's virtual reality, mixed reality, augmented reality. Augmented reality is what we're really interested in, because we want to be able to go out into the world and see it augmented with all this new, experience the world in new ways, basically. Like the virtual reality experience, we definitely are looking into that more as well. But the augmented reality is where our passion is, I would say. So yeah, that's all we've got for you today. The Metaverse, virtual reality, mixed reality, augmented reality. It's really cool stuff, and we hope to bring more of that to you on this channel, along with, we're just going to be talking about whatever. That's kind of how we want to do this. We just want to talk about what we're interested in, and people who are interested in that sort of thing, they'll watch our videos, and we can form some kind of community, or at least we're putting ourselves out there, right? And we're spreading some information, and maybe what we're doing right now isn't the most entertaining, but yeah, we're gonna give it a go. So yeah, that's all we've got for you today. What do you think about the metaverse? What do you think about Meta and Facebook? Basically, um, they're really pushing the quest. They're trying to get virtual reality out there, but in doing that, um, what about the competition, right? So yeah, that's something to keep an eye on. But yeah, anyways, we're gonna start rambling, and we just need to end it here. And that's all we've got for you today. Take care.